Your body always responds to exactly what you do or don't do. Hey there, I'm Justin Goodhart from The Well-Rounded Athlete. Thanks for watching this today. I had a question last week from Jeffrey O, and he was wondering, what's the best tool for movement development? How does a kettlebell, a barbell, and body weight stack up? As usual with a question like this, the answer is it depends, and there's a lot of factors at work here. First thing, and the most important thing, is what are you trying to do? What's your end game? What's your goal, and what are you really striving for? Because in the end, that's really going to dictate the path you take. Now, while I can't speak for Ido, I will share what I learned from him, and that's basically that the shoulder functions very well and kind of craves complexity. It's a very complex joint, and so generally that's why he really favors the rings for upper body development, because the glenohumeral joint is very complex and responds very well to the complexity that gymnastics rings offer. But for lower body development, he would say the hips crave more intensity. So that means higher loads, which can be challenging to get from kettlebells and is offered much more readily by barbells. Now, the SAID principle comes into play here, which stands for the specific adaptation to imposed demands. And basically all that means is your body always responds to exactly what you do or don't do. So if your goal is a pistol squat, well then you should probably be doing more unilateral work, and kettlebells could maybe be really great for that. And actually, in general, unilateral work, the kettlebells may have a lot to offer. But if you're doing bilateral work, the barbell, I think, makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more progressive, so you can add smaller increments to it, whereas kettlebells often come in, certain increments, 12, 24, 32, etc. And so it's not as progressive. Now, bodyweight stuff, I think bodyweight has a lot of really great things to offer, especially if you're wanting to develop control. But as far as lower body strength and power development, plyometrics are really good and could be considered bodyweight. But actually, when you're doing plyometrics, the force that your body is hitting in the ground actually exceeds your body weight by many, many times. To me, it really comes down to what you're training for, how you're training, because of course, I can create great upper body complexity for the shoulder joint using a kettlebell. I can create unilateral intensity for the hips using a kettlebell. It's really what your goal is and how you use that tool. You probably asked this question from an ideal perspective, like if all of these options are available to you, which one is the best? And again, there's no right or wrong answer there. You can create complexity with any of those, you can create intensity with any of those, but it's about how you do it, the sets, the reps, the loading, the intensity, things like that. But the fact is, most people don't necessarily find themselves in an ideal circumstance where they have kettlebells and barbells and rings at their disposal all the time. Now, we always have our body weight with us, obviously, and so that probably offers the greatest degree of versatility, and you can really start to cultivate movement complexity in the upper body and movement intensity in the lower body just with your body weight. Another thing worth mentioning is process-based goals versus outcome-based goals. If it is your singular goal to get like a double body weight back squat, for example, and all you care about is the most efficient path there, then you obviously want to use a barbell. But if you're more process-based and maybe you really love kettlebells, maybe you had an awesome instructor or you have a great kettlebell community in your area, well then why not take advantage of that? And if that's what's going to keep you coming back and moving every day and moving with frequency, then absolutely do that and use kettlebells as your primary movement tool, at least for this phase in your life. It doesn't really matter the specific tool you have as long as you have something that's really meeting the need you have for movement in your life. But again, if you only care about specific movement goals and you want to get there as quick as possible, then yes, you should absolutely optimize. You should use the most effective tool for each goal you're going after. You should use barbells some of the time, you should use rings others. It really depends on what your specific goal is and the most direct route there. And whatever that is, that's the tool you should be using, whether it's body weight, whether it's gymnastics rings, whether it's barbells, whatever it is. Anyway, Jeffrey, thanks for the question. I hope this has offered some insight to you, and really I would just examine your own movement and training practice. I think it really starts with clarity about what movement is to you, where you want to take it, and then from there selecting which tools will fit that. You guys know I'm really obsessed with helping you build your own movement practice, with helping you move like an artist, with helping you train like a scientist, so you have that nice balance of quantification and measurement, but also, these intangibles that movement offers that can't even be quantified. Remember, it's about you and your journey, and that's going to look different from me and my journey. So if you can get clear on what you're really looking for and what tools you enjoy, what tools will most efficiently get you to where you want to go, I think that will answer the question of whether you should use body weight or kettlebells or barbells. So that's it. Thanks for listening to this today. Thanks for the great question. And if any of you out there watching this have a question for me, just shoot me an email, justin@wellroundedathlete.net, or leave it in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.